Beth and I went to the Barbie exhibit. Barbie exhibit. Barbie, your hourglass figure applied to me meant I had sand running down my shoulder. In 1959, a woman who looked like my mother, more like Rosie the Riveter than that whiff of air, Jean Harlow, created this doll that in some interpretive retrovision claimed she came up with Barbie to empower women. Ain't hindsight 2020, or more like 36, 24, 36. Those numbers were etched into my brain. I could not get off that diet train, obsessed with being tall and thin. I couldn't change tall, but thin I could possibly win. Barbie, you alone elicited years of starvation, disordered eating, ruination of my teenage years, self-hate with everything I ate, the envy and jealousy as me, a short, dumpy kid, the body I am in, always overweight because I skipped gym. I struggle to look like you. You plastic thing, effortlessly, eternally skinny, no matter how many polystyrene pizzas you eat and how many 3D printed monomer milkshakes you drink. You were just an entire industry flying off the shelves for little girls to play with, unknowingly absorbing your message and your phthalates that you had to be skinny to be popular. And now, at the Phoenix Art Museum, you're art. You're an art form. Wow, how did you do that? I don't even get anywhere near the Phoenix Art Museum. I reminisce momentarily looking at the display, the cardboard on the walls, the pink and white stripes around, the accessories, the secretary Barbie, the tennis date Barbie, the evening gown Barbie, and it brought me back to that time when my sister and I played Barbies. I sewed my own Barbie dresses, made my own British Carnaby Street Barbie, and I called her Twiggy, named after another anorexic fashion model disaster. And then one day Mattel came out with the Barbie Dream House. And that day I discovered it was so much easier to be Ken. I wasn't a tomboy, but I wanted to be an architect. And since women weren't architects, I became Ken. As Ken, I forgot about the pressure to be skinny. And I became the architect of the most futuristic dream house ever, made with cereal boxes and the cardboards from my father's dry clean shirts, a Ken car I made out of a tissue box. And if you've seen the Tesla truck, I was first. No matter how Mattel and the Phoenix Art Museum want to frame it, no matter how many ways you can shove that doll into an astronaut suit, a research scientist uniform, or a marine biologist Barbie with her little submarine, or the special edition purportedly curvy J-Lo Barbie, this doll does not represent the average woman. Even wheelchair-bound Barbie is skinny. This reawakening of Barbie's significance, the woke Barbie, time to make the most sales out of that Barbie movie, Mattel, you are drinking your own sugar-free Kool-Aid. The woke that Barbie is still sleep to Gen Z's kids. So go back to sleep, Barbie. Get into your dream house and dream of what it is like to be 15 pounds overweight since the age of 3. Bullied for being chubby. Women aren't here only to have a hubby. Why no single mom with 4 kids Barbie that comes with a public bus? Why no stripper Barbie who is actually a nurse putting herself through med school? Why no addicted to OxyContin Barbie? No fat Barbie with an Ozempic varsity jacket? No depressed Barbie with a tiny Cialis pillbox? Why no Lizzo Barbie? Because they're not role models? I have news for you. The original Barbie never was either. And when you, Barbie, awaken from your dream in your Barbie dream house, you awaken to the sad reality that you have been an imposter. You are not women. You will realize that you should have never been an icon at all. Thank you. One more. Oh yeah, okay. The many pictures I have are for something that I'll do another time. How many of you are familiar with Shakespeare? I'm not going to read Shakespeare. A rose by any other name. The young man in the paint department is not fully comprehending my inquiry. I am returning this canvas spray paint to the store. This can of spray paint is missing something. It has no smell. I want a can of lacquer-based spray paint. I want old school spray paint. I do not want some odorless paint. Just give me the old Krylon with the odor. I want xylene, toluene, cyclohexachlororon 36, and methyloxyl propyl acetate in flat black with the smell intact. You remove the smell from paint, you've taken the fun out of it. The only thing I want odorless is a cab driver. The spray paint aisle is now a fortress with cages and locks and alarms and motion sensors. On the right, the open shelves are fully stocked with friendly paint products, upright citizens in a war against offensive smells, declaring that this one is green or that one is eco-friendly, and it contains a non-BLB solvent and is odor-free and therefore harm-free, like rated GP. Over there, imprisoned in cages, is where all the offenders are. The soldiers of flake and flame, the POWs of the war on smell. They stand locked down in satin, hammered, gloss, and semi-gloss. Weapons of the new terrorist, the radicalized DIYer in the backyard with his can of old Rusto, and the war against inhalation harm, swallow harm, skin surface and tissue harm, and the serious potential harm in a can of Hollywood cerise. It is mind-boggling. A quarter-ounce pen-sized vial of touch-up base paint comes with a 7-page opus of toxicity. Read it if you do not want to harm yourself or the unborn baby that you will never have. When you remove odor from paint, you steal my memories. One day I rode through a zip code of corrugated sheds, railroad residential with its gantries and trestles, and a warm April breeze wafted over me, carrying the aroma of acrylonitrile butadiene styrene 13 with a hint of polyisocyanate. And what came forth so suddenly and fantastically from out of nowhere? Nothing physical at all, but a few orphan molecules of an old smell I so fondly remembered. It's me in junior high school with a spray gun in my possession for the very first time. It's me and 3D Tony and a biker named Bear in a little shed where I learned to paint with the fumes so thick you could barely see. Our noses ringed with the color of the day, candy apple purple up our sinuses like catacombs of volatility, all the way down to the areola, and metal flake, and our eyelashes for days, and they lit cigarettes in that, and nobody blew up, and we didn't die. And now you want to obliterate that memory because you are not comfortable with the smell? I rode through a neighborhood of migrant workers' lean-tos in the lower corn husk beyond the airport where somebody's burning a wood fire, which is now against the law because the smoke and the smell, while planes take off every minute and dump a black, insulting soot that rotted the apple orchards into extinction and turned the cotton fields black. And again, seemingly out of nowhere, I see my father tamping down the mulch pile of wet oak leaves and stabbing at them with a digging iron like his bayonet and Guadalcanal trying to get them to burn and yelling, "Fire in the hole!" And I smell the gasoline that he'd squirt. Gasoline, you will note, is the antagonist in this recounting because the refiners actually add an odor to it so that you know it is there. From the banged up metal gas can into the funeral pyre of autumn's dead, and he torches it all, and the cinders rose in a straight glowing line into the night sky over a stinking Passaic County, a smell that could never be eradicated and must have burned for decades to descend down now in this cloud of anonymous smoke and reignite a vision of my father. Only a smell triggered that memory. And you want to take that memory away? Because you don't like the smell? I'm offended by your smell. Sugar cookies, baked bread, pizza, smells you approve of. The smell of all the things I have run from for a lifetime of weight issues, of body dysmorphobia. The smell of worn brownies is menacing to me. Yet that you can now plug into your nightlight. My mother, who was on every kind of diet for her entire life, warned us whenever we approached the bakery on Avenue B, hold your nose or you'll gain weight. And now I have to walk into a public bathroom that smells like pumpkin pie spice? It's just not fair. Not fair that you approve of Scentsy candles and Glade plugins available in over 50 sensations, including tropical, floral, fruity, outdoor, gourmet, and anti-pet solutions. And now you can sell that online? How do you do that? How does anyone know that they want their closets to smell like angel whispers or glistening snow? Canceled in 2009. What does Blue Odyssey smell like? What is the smell of baking with grandma? But it doesn't matter. Already, the EPA has declared the main ingredient category of phthalates to be human carcinogens and has begun the process of reining in the perpetrator, SC Johnson and Company, makers of Glade and Raid since 1956. In fact, the EPA has a new mission to eliminate the smell from all things by 2030, and they have hired a team of scientists to create neutralizers to do this. Soon, you will no longer need a nose. The nose will be repurposed to become something more practical, like a sail or a compass, or a weather center that can run analytics from the wind pressure detected at the lateral process of the nasal bridge. And you'll have a better average than AccuWeather. The young man in the paint department is staring at me as if he was born yesterday. He was. His nose was long ago decommissioned. He was born in a world where perfume is an offense at the office, and spraying deodorant in the locker room is grounds for being expelled from the gym. One day, he will open a new box while stocking the shelves, and he will stop and he'll read the label, and it'll say, spray paint, now with old school smell. And he will have to explain to his children, who were born with no nose at all, why there is a rose that by any other name will not smell at all. Thank you, everybody.